The environment is the conditions surrounding an ecosystem or a community of living things. These conditions include many factors. The climate and temperature of an area, the type of soil, amount of water available, and what animals, among others. Scientists name 4 main factors affecting the environment to include the biotic processes, geomorphic processes, hydrologic, and atmospheric processes. The biotic processes involves living organisms that affect the environment as they decompose dead matter. The geomorphic processes shape the land, and this includes the processes of weathering, erosion, transportation, and deposition. For the hydrologic processes, this is the way that water affects an environment, especially for the survival of plants and animals, and also for the soil. The atmospheric processes happens in the air, and this includes the weather patterns, climate, and wind. These processes affect the local environment by regulating the amount of water available for plants and animals. Experts say if one little aspect of these factors were to change, the entire environment could change from one type to another. Some environments are changing even now due to climate change and human activity. The World Environment Day, observed every year to raise global awareness about taking positive environmental action to protect nature and the planet Earth, is again marked this June 5th, 2016. This time with a focus on the fight against illegal trade of wildlife, which erodes precious biodiversity and threatens the survival of elephants, rhinos, and tigers, as well as many other species. This is also said to undermine economies, communities, and security.
You showed your commitment to act for the common good.
In his message to the world, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, urges people and governments everywhere to overcome indifference, combat greed, and act to preserve natural heritage for the benefit of generations.
We have seen so many people, so many countries suffering from climate change phenomenon. The climate change does not respect national borders. Developing countries or developed countries and the world scientists have made it quite clear that climate change is happening much, much faster than one may expect. They said that it is caused by human behavior. Therefore, we must change our own way of living. We have to preserve our planet Earth in a much more sustainable way. We have to also provide many people opportunities to live in prosperity and dignity. Investing in climate change is the way to put an end to global poverty. That's the way we make our cities more livable and healthier and safer. And that's the way we can make our human lives with dignity. Let's work together to make this world better for all.
In Nigeria, some advocates for the environment believe the country has a lot to gain in protecting its wildlife, especially now that the nation is grappling with the slump in crude oil price globally. Nigeria has for a long time depended on oil money, thereby affecting its purse since the fall in oil price.
There is no doubt that the oil and gas sector is the hub of the nation's revenue generation, and everything humanly possible should be done to maximize benefit from the sector. It is, however, sad that despite this national asset endowment and the ranking of Nigeria as the sixth largest producer of oil in the world, Nigeria still imports petroleum products.
At a time when you have $100 a barrel crude, you can afford to save a lot. You can afford to throw money to solutions. When you have a $30 crude, there is no money to throw to solutions. You can only create ideas. And what we are doing is creating ideas on a daily basis to find solutions to the problems that we have.
In some Nigerian states, the negatives of the changing climatic conditions are brought to the fore. In Anambra State, in the southeast region, 12 erosion sites have so far been discovered. There's a procession to commemorate the World Environment Day with a dress code aptly chosen to reflect the concerns of nature and the earth. The governor, Willie Obiano, says the suffering, the devastation of the menace in several communities, but now has the assistance of the World Bank to tackle it.
It is important to state that with over 950 erosion sites, Anambra State needs serious help to manage our terribly eroded landmass. Sadly, the rate at which this menace is progressing is so frightening that if nothing is done very quickly, it will overwhelm our collective capacity to slow it down. In truth, no other state in Nigeria has been ravaged by erosion on the same scale as Anambra. If the image that we generate from our aerial photography are anything to go by, then the world must come to our rescue before it is too late. Indeed, we are raising this alarm in the hope that the attentive world will give Anambra State a chance to survive as a geological entity that deserves its continuous membership of the human race. We are emboldened by the fact that many nations who we are faced with the threat of extinction of this nature or worse in the past were not left in their faith by a caring world. We have no doubt that our case will not be different.
For Paul Abolo, an ecological expert, there are about 960 erosion sites in Anambra, and several efforts by the government to tackle it might not be sufficient.
So Anambra State is in dire need. The situation is critical. Erosion challenges in Anambra State should be addressed not from a local angle, not even from a federal angle, but from a global angle, because it's a critical issue and we must do something about it right now. As the consultants to Anambra State, we are pushing forward for Anambra State to engage in the new Nigerian INDCs, the COP21, and other global activities that's going to attract help to Anambra State at this time.